Was I wrong for exposing my sister's lie in front of her friends? I honestly still cannot believe this even happened, and now my family is acting like I am the one who crossed the line. I'm 24 and have been living alone in a really nice apartment for almost a year now. It is the first place that truly feels like mine, and I worked hard for it. My younger sister and I have always been close, so when I moved in, I gave her a spare key for emergencies and convenience. At the time, it felt completely normal. In the beginning, I liked having her over. But slowly it became constant. She started showing up almost every day, even when I was exhausted from work and just wanted quiet and privacy. I tried not to complain because I knew she was frustrated living at home and dreamed of having her own place someday. Then things started getting strange. Over the last few months, she became oddly attached to my apartment. She would constantly talk about the style, mention how she would decorate it differently, or joke about rearranging things. At first I laughed it off, but then I started noticing little changes around the apartment when I got home. Decorations moved. Furniture shifted slightly. Things that I knew I had not touched. Eventually, I realized she had been letting herself in while I was at work. I should have confronted her then, but I kept telling myself it was not worth starting a fight over. Then, a couple of weeks ago, I overheard something at a party that completely changed how I saw the situation. I walked past my sister talking to someone and heard her referring to her apartment. But one of the people she was speaking to even mentioned how nice it looked in photos. That is when it hit me that she had apparently been showing people pictures of my home and pretending it belonged to her. A few days later, I came home unexpectedly and found her sitting on my couch with someone I had never met before. She looked panicked the moment she saw me and rushed out with some excuse. Then it happened again with a couple of relatives, except this time she barely reacted when I walked in. After that, I finally texted her and told her she needed to ask permission before bringing people into my apartment. Her response was just a cold, one-letter reply. For a little while after that, she started acting unusually sweet toward me, which honestly made me suspicious. But I could not figure out what she was doing. Then came last night. I got home after an exhausting shift and opened the door to find 5 strangers in my living room drinking and laughing while my sister hosted them like she owned the place. I was completely stunned. I immediately told everyone to leave. My sister tried pulling me aside to talk privately, but I was beyond angry at that point. I repeated myself louder, telling them all to get out. That is when one of her friends looked confused and asked why I was even there. Something in me snapped. I yelled that I lived there, not my sister, and that she still lived with our parents. The room went silent. Everyone grabbed their things and left almost immediately. Now my family is furious with me. They say I humiliated her and embarrassed her in front of her friends. Apparently she has been devastated ever since. But I genuinely do not understand what they expected me to do. She was bringing strangers into my home, pretending it belonged to her and acting like I was the intruder in my own apartment. Still, the reaction from everyone around me has made me wonder if I went too far by exposing her like that in front of everyone instead of handling it privately. I know I can be emotional when I'm angry, but this whole situation felt surreal, and I still cannot believe my sister was doing this at all.